Hello students, this is Dr. A.S. Sayyed, working as Professor and Head, Department of Structural Engineering, Sanjuni College of Engineering, Kopargaon. I welcome you all for the course on Matrix Methods of Structural Analysis. Since few lectures, we are dealing with unit number 2, that is Flexibility Matrix Method. Today, we will solve one problem on analysis of portal frames using Flexibility Matrix Method. So the statement of problem is analyze the portal frame as shown in figure using flexibility matrix method. Take EI constant. So this is given frame. If you look at the frame, it has one column and one beam. Column is fixed at A and beam is hinged at C. BC span subjected to UDL. AB column is subjected to point load. Very first step, similar to the beam problem, is to determine degree of static indeterminacy. So DSI is equal to capital R minus small r. Capital R represent number of unknown reactions in the given frame. So number of unknown reactions in the given frame are 5. Since support A is fixed, 3 reactions, and hinge support at C, 2 reactions. Total number of unknown reactions are 5. Minus small r represent equations of equilibrium. So number of equations of equilibrium are 3, that is summation of fx equal to 0, summation of fy equal to 0, and summation of moment equal to 0. In frame, since it is subjected to two-dimensional forces in x as well as y direction, we are considering all 3 equations of equilibrium. But in case of beam, since beam is subjected to only vertical forces, there is no horizontal force acting on the beam, we are not considering summation of fx equal to 0. That's why in beam problem we have considered equations of equilibrium 2, and in frame problem now we have to consider equations of equilibrium 3. So 5u minus 3, it is equal to 2, DSI equal to 2. So we have to select any two unknown from the given portal frame. So we will select those two unknown redundants as RCH and RCV, that is horizontal and vertical reaction at support C. Why we have selected horizontal and vertical reaction at C, that we will discuss in the next slide. So step number 2, release the structure and unit load figures. So release the structure means from the DSI equal to 2, in the first step we have calculated DSI which is equal to 2. It represents that in the given portal frame there are two additional reactions which makes this portal frame statically indeterminate. It means if we remove any two reactions from the given portal frame, the portal frame becomes again statically determinate. So that's why to make it statically determinate frame, we have removed the support C from the portal frame. And since we have removed the support C from the portal frame, our unknowns are horizontal reaction at C and vertical reaction at C. Okay, that's why we have selected RCH and RCV as our unknowns. So this is first release the structure. Now we have to draw unit load figures. To draw the unit load figure, remove all external load from the given frame, UDL as well as point load. Remove all external load and apply unit load one by one. So if you look at this figure, we have removed all external load and apply unit positive vertical force at C. Positive vertical force at C. So this figure is called as RCV equal to 1. So our first unknown is RCV. We have applied unit load at point C in positive y direction. Similarly, we have to apply the unit positive force in horizontal direction. Positive means towards right. So this figure is called as RCH is equal to 1. So in the sequence of unit load, we have to decide the unknowns. Now our first unknown will be RCV and second unknown will be RCH. Okay, so like this, first we have to draw release the structure and unit load figures. Once you draw these three figures, now the important step, that is step number 3, is to calculate moments in various zone of the frame. Okay, now if you look at this table, first column of this table represent the zone and second column represent the origin. Now if you remember our beam problems, we have discussed so many times what is zone, origin and limits. Zone means the span where your loading conditions are same. If your loading conditions are changed, your zone will change. Okay. Now in portal frame, since support is fixed, support A is fixed, we will start to move from support C. Point C. We'll start from point C. If you move from point C towards B, if you move from C to B, if you look at BC span, it is subjected to UDL. So if you take a section at any point on this BC span, and if you observe the right portion, your loading conditions remain same, that is UDL. It means from C to B, a single zone is beam C to B represent the single zone. So C to B, we will take it as a first zone. Okay, C to B will take as a first zone. And then if you shift to column in a portal frame, when you shift from beam to column now, if you look at from point B, that is the top end of the column, if you start to move towards support A, that is downward, and if you take a section at any point, and if you observe the upward portion, the point where the loading condition will change. For example, if you reach this point just before, let assume the point where point load is acting is point D. It means if you take a section just before point D and observe the right portion, upward portion of the column, there is no load. But if you cross the point D now, the point load will come in picture. It means at point D, your zone will change in column, right? So in column is divided into two zones. First B to D and then D to A. So there are two zones in column and single zone in beam. So there are total 3 zones in the given portal frame, right? Now second column is origin. Origin means, we know that already we have discussed so many times in the beam problems. Origin means the distance of any section is always measured from the origin. So now in case of beam, we have taken the common origin to all zones. But in case of frame, we cannot take same origin to all the zones, because in frame orientation of member will change. From beam is a horizontal member, whereas column is a vertical member. So we have to select one origin for beam and one origin for column. Okay, so it means if you look at the first zone, that is CB zone, for that we will take origin as a C. For CB zone, we will take origin as a C. It means x is equal to 0 at C for CB zone, and x is equal to phi u at B. Considering the horizontal distance, x is equal to phi u at B. Then if you look at the remaining two zones which are from column, first zone is B to D. It means now we have to change the origin because we have shifted from beam to column. So we have to take now top of column as origin. Means x is equal to 0 at B when we are considering the column. X is equal to 0 at B. And at point D, x is equal to 2. And similarly at a point A, x is equal to 4. So these are the distances of x considering B as a origin for column. So for next two zones, B to D and D to A, origin is B, and for beam first zone C to B, origin is C. Now limits for first zone, that is C to B, is x equal to 0 to x equal to phi u. Okay, these are the limits, x equal to 0 to x equal to phi u. And when we are considering the remaining two zones for the column, B is taken as origin. So first zone in column, that is B to D. B to D limits are x equal to 0 to x equal to 2. And for second zone, it is x equal to 2 to x equal to 4. So 0 to 2 and 2 to 4 are the limits of remaining two zones. Okay. So understand, in frame, we have to change the origin when we shift from beam to column and again column to beam. Okay. So these are the first three columns. Now we have to take the moments. Remaining three columns represent the moments in this table. So capital M you will get from the release structure, small m1 you will get from the first unit load figure, and m2, small m2 you will get from the second unit load figure. Okay, so one by one we have to take the sections in various zones. So if you take this section in first zone, that is C to B in all three figures. So if you take section in all three figures in the first zone, C to B, okay, origin is C in this case. So if you mark the distance x is measured from origin. So from C to section point distance is x. Mark it in all three figures. Okay, this is x. Now we have to observe the right portion of this section. If you observe the right portion of this section now in a release structure, there is a UDL. UDL intensity is 20. UDL intensity is 20. So 20 into x, span of UDL is x. So 20 into x, 20x is the magnitude of force which is acting at the center of span. So center means x by 2 distance. X by 2. So if you take a moment at this point of a UDL, it becomes 20 into x by 2, that is 20x square by 2. Since the force is vertically downward, it will produce clockwise moment at this point. So clockwise means minus as per our sign conventions. So first moment in the release structure capital M column is minus 20 x square by 2. Okay. Similarly now if you look at the second figure, RCV equal to 1. Okay. If you observe the right portion of the section, we are taking moment at this point. So on the right portion there is one unit load vertically upward. Perpendicular distance of this unit load from the point where we are taking the moment is x. So moment of this 1 becomes 1 into x anti-clockwise, so it is positive. So in M1 column 1 into x, it is x. Okay. Now if you look at the third figure, section in first zone, if you observe the right portion, there is a unit load, but that unit load is horizontal. Since that unit load is horizontal, we are taking moment at this point. And the unit load will pass through the same point. Means unit load is in the same line of action. When forces are in the line of action of point where we are taking a moment, its moment is always 0. It means though on the right part of section there is a unit load, but it will not create any moment about the section point. So moment is equal to 0 in M2 column. So first zone, all three moments are over. Minus 20x square by 2 in capital M, that is release structure. 1 into x, that is in RCV equal to 1 figure, and 0 in RCH equal to 1 figure. Okay. Now take a moment in second zone. Second zone is in column. So first show the section in all three figures. You please mark the point D here. This is point D. The point where point load is acting is a point D. Now if you take a section in all three figures in second zone, first mark the distance x. Distance x is measured from the origin. For second zone origin is B, don't forget. So this distance is x. Vertical distance from point B is x. Now we have to observe the upper portion of this section. Upper portion means not only column, considering beam also. It means this portion up to point C we have to consider. Complete portion we have to consider. Now in release structure, if you look at the upper part of the section, there is a UDL. Okay, UDL. So if you convert UDL into point load, intensity is 20. Now UDL intensity is 20 and span is equal to 5U. So 20 into 5U, it will be 100 acting vertically downward. At the center of 5U, that is 2.5U. Total load is 20 into 5U, that is 100 acting at the center of span of UDL, means vertically downward. At the center is 2.5U distance. At the center of 5U means 2.5U. So in short, if you look at the section point, if you want to take a moment of UDL, it will not be in terms of x, it will be directly numerical value, that is 100 into 2.5U, 250, it is clockwise, so minus. Okay, so if you look at the second zone, B to D, origin is B, limits are 0 to 2, capital M column it is minus 250. It is a moment of UDL. Okay, since load is acting on the beam and we are taking section in a column, the moment will not be in terms of x, directly a numerical value of moment you will get. Similarly, if you look at the second figure, that is RCV equal to 1, we are taking moment at this point. We are taking moment at this point and point load is acting at C. It means complete distance of point load from a point where we are taking moment is known to us, that is 5 meter. So moment of this unit load about this point is equal to 1 into 5, that is 5 anti-clockwise. So in M1 column it will be plus 5 anti-clockwise means. Okay. Now if you look at the third figure, we are taking section here in a column and your force is horizontal. Force is horizontal. If you extend this force in the same line of action, if you extend that force in the same line of action like this, if you want, you can show that force at point B. By using principle of transmissibility, we can extend the force throughout its line of action anywhere. So instead of this point it is acting at C, we can show it at B also. It means if force is horizontal now and we are taking section in a vertical column, now this will be a moment in terms of x. In previous two figures, the forces were vertical. This UDL force is also vertical, unit load force is also vertical, and that's why perpendicular distance was directly known to us. In first figure 2.5 and second figure 5. Okay, but here in third figure your distance will be in terms of x. So 1 is a horizontal force and at this point where we are taking moment, its distance is x. So 1 into x, it will produce clockwise moment. 1 into x is minus x. So this will be minus x. Okay, so you please understand, when we are taking the moments in a column part, we are taking section in column part, whatever load acting on the beam, vertical forces, whatever vertical forces acting on the beam, the moment of those forces will not be in terms of x. Okay, so this is second zone. Now we have to take the moment in third zone, okay, of all three figures. So take a section in the third zone, point D, at a point where point load is acting, that is point D. Okay, now distance from origin is x, means from point B it is x. So this distance is x. This distance is x. In all three figures, mark the distance x. Okay, now observe the upper portion. Observe the upper portion of the section. So in the release structure figure, if you look at, there are two loads. One will be UDL and second will be point load. Okay. So since we are taking this section in column, that is a vertical column, the forces which are horizontal, that is 40 kilonewton, moment of this force will be in terms of x. But the moment of UDL will not be in terms of x, it will be a directly numerical value. So 20 into 5 span, the 100 kilonewton, it is acting vertically downward, 100. So perpendicular distance of this from this point of section is 2.5, half of the 5. So 2.5. So 100 into 2.5 moment is directly taken. So 100 into 2.5 is 250 and it is clockwise. So minus. So if you look at the first portion of the moment in the release structure, capital M column, it is minus 250. Okay, it is because of UDL. Now we have to take the moment of point load. So perpendicular distance of point load, this distance. Total from B to section it is x. And we want this distance. We want this distance. So if you minus this 2, we'll get this distance. So it is x minus 2. X minus 2. So point load, moment of point load 40 kilonewton is 40 into x minus 2. It will produce clockwise moment. So it is minus. So minus 40 into x minus 2. You look at the third row of this table, capital M. Minus 40 into x minus 2. So this is moment of your release structure in third zone. Now if you look at the second figure, that is RCV equal to 1. We are taking section in the third zone. If you look at the upper portion of column as well as beam, there is again the point load 1 vertically upward at C. So distance between this vertical point load and the point where we are taking moment is known to us, that is phi u. So again moment of this 1 will be equal to 1 into phi u, that is phi u anti-clockwise, so it is positive. So M1 column third element will be plus 5. And similarly again, if you look at the third figure, RCH equal to 1, the unit load is again horizontal and we are taking moment in the third zone at a distance of x. So perpendicular distance of 1 and the point where we are taking section is again x. So moment will be 1 into x clockwise again, so it is minus, so minus x. So like this you have to take a moment in various zones of the frame. Okay, once you calculate this moment table, now rest of the part is only mathematical calculation with the help of your calculator. Okay, so next, now after moment calculation we will start to calculate the different matrices involved in the compatibility condition. So what is compatibility condition? dq equal to dql plus f into q, where dq is equal to now displacement corresponding to unknown reaction in the original structure. So original structure means in the original structure our unknowns are RCV, that is vertical reaction at C, and RCH, that is horizontal reaction at C. So we have to see that in the original structure, is there any displacements are given at point C? Is there any vertical displacement given at point C in the original structure? No. So first element will be 0. Similarly, there is no horizontal displacement given at C in the original structure. So second element is also equal to 0. So horizontal and vertical displacements at point C in the original structure are not given. So that's why this vector will be 0, 0. Now second vector involved in the compatibility condition is DQL matrix. DQL matrix represent horizontal and vertical displacement at point C in the release structure. Horizontal and vertical displacements at point C in the release structure. Now these displacements we have to calculate. Now to calculate this displacement, we know that we have to use this integral formula. Already we have used so many times in the beam problems. So dql I is equal to either 1 or 2. Okay, dql I is equal to integration over the limits capital M into mi. So if you are calculating dql1, this small mi becomes m1. If you are calculating dql2, this becomes m into m2. Okay, like this you have to apply the integral formula. Okay, now we will calculate the elements of DQL matrix. So we will repeat the table again. We will repeat the table of moment again here. So now DQL1 is equal to capital M into M1. Capital M into M1. So if you look at the first zone C to B, okay, limits are 0 to 5. Limits are 0 to 5. Capital M is equal to minus 20 x square by 2 and M1 is equal to x. So M into M1. So this is first minus 20 x square by 2 in capital M and x is M1 over the limit 0 to 5. Okay, so this is first zone. Plus second zone, M1 capital M is equal to minus 250 and small m1 is equal to 5. So minus 250 into 5, that is second zone. Similarly, third zone, capital M is equal to minus 250 into minus 250 minus 40 into x minus 2 into 5 m1. So this is third zone. Limits are 2 to 4. So if we perform all three integrations in your calculator and if you add all these three integrations, you will get the final answer of dql1. It is minus 6962.5 upon EI. dql1, it is nothing but vertical displacement at point C. dql1 is nothing but vertical displacement at point C. It is our first unknown. Okay, and dql2 will be horizontal displacement at point C, that is delta ch. dql2. Now we have to calculate dql2. dql2 will be equal to capital M into M2. Capital M into M2 column now we have to apply. So if you look at the first zone, if you look at the first zone, capital M is equal to minus 20x square by 2, but M2 is equal to 0. So capital M into M2, first zone will be 0. Similarly, now second zone, capital M is equal to minus 250 and M2 is equal to minus x. Minus minus multiplication will be plus, so it is plus 250x. It will be plus 250x over the limits 0 to 2. Plus, now third zone, B to A. Third zone is D to A. Limits are 2 to 4. Limits are 2 to 4. Capital M is equal to minus 250 minus 40 into x minus 2 and M2 is equal to minus x. M2 is equal to minus x. So now if you perform this integration in your calculator, first zone is already 0, but remaining two zones, if you perform the integration and if you add this, finally you will get the DQL2, that is horizontal displacement at C, is 2266.67 upon EI. So these are the elements of DQL vector. Okay. Now next we have to calculate the elements of flexibility matrix. I will repeat the moment table again here. Now flexibility coefficients. Flexibility coefficient Fij is equal to 1 upon EI integration Mi into Mj. So if you are calculating F11, we know that it becomes M1 into M1. If you are calculating F12 or F21, it becomes M1 into M2. And if you are calculating F22, it becomes M2 into M2. So now we have to apply this integration formula to calculate the flexibility matrix coefficients. Okay. So F11 is equal to M1 into M1, small m1 into M1. So first zone, M1 column, element is x. So x into x, x square. Limits are 0 to 5. Second zone, M1 column, it is 5. So 5 into 5, 25. Second zone, limits are 0 to 2. Third zone, again M1 column, element is 5. 5 into 5, 25. Limits are 2 to 4. Okay. So if you perform all three integrations and if you add together, the final answer of flexibility coefficient is 141.6 upon EI. That is F11. Okay. So this is first element. Now second element, that is F12 or F21. F12 or F21 is equal to M1 into M2. Small m1 into M2. Okay. So first zone, if you look at the C to B first zone, M1 is x, but M2 is 0. So M1 into M2, first zone, it will be 0. Now second zone, M1, small m1 is equal to 5 and M2 is equal to minus x. 5 into minus x, it will be minus 5x. So this minus is taken here and this is 5x. Similarly, third zone, M1 is 5, M2 is minus x. Again multiplication is minus. So this is minus and 5x. So if you perform again these integrations in your calculator and if you add, final answer of F12 is equal to minus 40 upon EI. Okay. Similarly, now we can calculate F22. Okay. F22 is equal to M2 into M2. M2 into M2. So first zone it is again 0 because M2 column first element is 0. So first zone it is 0. Now in second zone minus x. In second zone element is minus x. Minus x into minus x, it is plus x square. So second integration is plus x square. Limits are 0 to 2 given in the table. Similarly, third zone, again it is minus x into minus x plus x square. Limits are 2 to 4. If you perform this integration, final answer will be 21.33 upon EI. So these are the three elements of flexibility matrix. Size of flexibility matrix will be 2 by 2. Okay, so like this you can summarize the flexibility matrix. Okay, it is 2 by 2. This is flexibility matrix. So now once you get the flexibility matrix, now we have to apply or we have to put all these matrices in the compatibility condition to find out our final unknowns. So compatibility condition, dq equal to dql plus f into q. So if you put value of dq 0 0, okay, dql we have calculated. Similarly, flexibility matrix, our unknowns are RCB and RCH. Okay, please remember sequence of unknown. Once you draw the unit load figures, the sequence of unit load figures should be followed to write down the sequence of unknowns only. So since we have drawn unit load in vertical direction as a first figure, and then we have drawn unit load of horizontal force, take RCV as a first unknown and then take RCH as a second unknown. Okay, if you solve these two equations in matrix form in your calculator, you will get finally answer of RCV and RCH. RCV is equal to 40.68 and RCH is equal to 29.97. So these are the horizontal and vertical reaction at point C. Of course, to draw the bending moment diagram, we require to find out the moments, and to find out the moments, first we have to calculate the all remaining reactions first. So if you apply summation of fx equal to 0 and summation of fy equal to 0, you will get the remaining reactions. So if you look at summation of fx equal to 0, okay, support at A, fixed support at A. So fixed support means it is having horizontal reaction. Let us assume horizontal reaction is RAH at A. So it is positive, plus, so minus, it is 29.97, that is horizontal reaction at C, and the point load of 40 kilonewton acting on column, it is plus 40. So like this, if you collect all horizontal forces, you will get the value of RAH, it is equal to minus 10.025 kilonewton. Similarly to the whole frame, if you apply summation of Fy equal to 0, RAV, that is a vertical reaction at A, 40.62, that is RCV, vertical reaction at C, and minus 100, 100 is a magnitude of UDL, 20 into 5. So if you solve this, you will get RAV equal to 59.32. Okay, so if you substitute all reactions now in these two figures, if you look at BC and AB, if you draw these two members separately, if you show the all loading conditions now moments are not known to us initially, so assume all moments in anti-clockwise sense. So here may be anti-clockwise, assume this MBA is also anti-clockwise, MBC anti-clockwise, and MCB is known to us. MCB is equal to 0 because support C is a hinge support, that is simple support. So MCB is known to us. Okay, now if you take the moment at point B in BC span, if you take the moment at point B, you will get this equation, summation of moment at B in the BC span. So moment of UDL 20 into 5u into 2.5u, this is minus clockwise, then MBC anti-clockwise as it is, so this is MBC. Now moment of this reaction 40.68, perpendicular distance is 5u, it will produce anti-clockwise moment, so it is plus 40.68 into 5u. So if you perform this calculation, you will get MBC equal to 46.6, answer will be positive. Positive means this will be anti-clockwise moment. Okay, once you calculate the MBC, now we know that joint equilibrium condition, summation of moment at point B, joint B must be equal to 0. So if MBC is equal to plus 46.6, MBA must be equal to minus 46.6. Minus represent that it is clockwise in nature. So now MBA is also known to us, minus 46.6 clockwise. Okay, now only MAB is remaining. For that, if you consider a BA span now, and if you take summation of moment about point B in BA span, you will get this equation, summation of moment about point B in BA span. So MBA moment first, it is minus 46.6 MBA, then moment MAB anti-clockwise not known to us as it is. Now moment of this 10 point horizontal reaction 10.025, that is RAH, perpendicular distance is 4. Okay, and it will produce clockwise moment, so it is 10.025 into 4, clockwise means minus, and the last moment because of 40 kilonewton, perpendicular distance is 2, and it produced the anti-clockwise moment, so positive 40 into 2. So if you solve this, you will get MAB 6.7, answer is positive, means anti-clockwise. Okay, so like this you can perform the calculation and find out all moments and reactions in the given portal frame. Once you calculate all the moments, now rest part is only to plot the bending moment diagram. So this is bending moment diagram. BC is subjected to UDL, so it is parabolic in nature. maximum bending moment is WL square by 8, that is 62.5 U. Column AB is subjected to central point load, so positive moment will be triangular in nature. Maximum moment is WL by 4, that is 40. So these are the positive moments. Now negative moments, we have to draw negative moments. So negative moment at AB is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means we should plot it towards the left. Magnitude of this moment is 6 point something, MAB. Okay, 6 point we have calculated in the last step. So this is 6 point moment. Then MBA moment is minus, that is clockwise 46 point. Clockwise means you should plot it towards left again. This is 46. And MBC is anti-clockwise 46.6, so it will be upward. So plot upward above the reference line, and MCB is equal to 0, we know that. So if we join all this with the straight lines, okay, join these negative points with the straight lines. So this is bending moment diagram for the given portal frame. So like this we can analyze portal frame by using flexibility matrix method. Okay, in the next problem we will solve one more example on portal frame to understand all the concept again in detail. Okay, thank you very much.